Okay, the first question is, will you patch back with your ex-boyfriend? Let's look at the general energy between you and your ex first. General energy. I feel like for you, right, you're trying to regain control of your life and stuff, right? Trying to figure out what exactly is good for you. As for his energy, it seems to be that he's still kind of I don't think the breakup or whatever, right, has the sadness of losing you and stuff has kicked in yet. I feel like he's still in an energy of like feeling that he's okay. You know, he prefers to be single, he prefers to have this liberation and stuff like that. There's also this energy of him feeling like he's trying to figure out what he really wants in life right now. Like it's new to him. He's trying to understand what he really wants. But there's also a lack of moving on, I feel. It's not just on your end, right? I feel like this is a mutual energy of like your person also thinking that they don't not really properly processing their emotions would be the answer here. And when it comes to the relationship, initially, I think your guides also want you to review and understand like why there was a separation in the first place, right? There's this energy of like misaligned goals. I feel like both of you don't really want the same things. And actually, I think it's lacking in some form of fulfillment when it comes to emotional availability towards you. So that's something for you to think about as well. Like, why do you want to keep this person in your life? And why was there even a separation in the first place? I'm gonna look at the potential of patching, how he feels also. There's a very strong energy coming through that is felt on both ends. I feel like you also kind of know that the connection hasn't ended lah. Although there's a breakup, right? There's this energy of like y'all will meet again, kind of energy. Like something will happen again. There's some energy of reconciliation and reunion here. There's a soul contract that I'm seeing also, like past life energy. There is something that's meant to happen here. I feel like there will be some progression. Okay, I'll see in detail what the timeline looks like for this potential reunion, how things might look like for both of you. But right now, he's still in this energy of like conflict. Maybe you guys had an argument or whatever, right? There's disagreements, and the energy is still kind of present within his perception of the connection. He still feels like, oh, we fight a lot. There are things that we don't agree on. He's still in that negative energy. So I would say that allow him to take time to understand how he feels first, to allow this negative energy to go away, dissipate on its own first. If you're looking for spell works, I would recommend a refresher to remove that kind of negative energy between both. He actually thinks that you might be exploring your options now. And I feel like the potential reunion here is going to be unexpected, okay? So what I'm seeing here is that in the past, when it comes to the relationship, the foundation wasn't really built on very solid grounds, okay? So there are some maybe misaligned values or perception or idea of how a relationship should work, things like that are not very aligned, and that has caused that kind of breakup, right? And in the future, I feel like it will be a sudden reconciliation in terms of understanding how to rebuild this strong foundation with one another, knowing one another for who you really are on the inside and what your values are, and accepting it entirely. Being patient here is also recommended for you if this is someone you want to manifest back into your life. Let's get timeline on potential reunion. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay. March, April, May, June. I feel like June is a potential reunion moment for both of you, but it's important for both of you to communicate exactly what you want, especially on your end. Avoid being in a situation where you feel like you have to give in to him and bend over backwards for this person again, because if you do that, it's going to be a repetition of the cycle that you guys were already in. You will end up giving more to this person, and then you will find it difficult to speak your truth and be very honest about how you feel in this relationship and what you want in this relationship. So up until June, I feel like you'll still be a bit like trying to recover from the breakup and trying to find confidence within yourself, trying to find completion. There's also a bit of impatience coming through, right? So the advice for you here is focus on yourself and make yourself happy first. I want to see his energy. What are you dealing with? He comes off as someone who can be a bit aggressive in terms of like controlling, wanting to know what exactly he's dealing with. So that's something you have to think about also. Is this an energy you want to deal with the rest of your life? I see him contemplating coming back, right, and his options sometime in May, just a month before. So that could be a moment where communication, if you guys are not talking anymore, right, that might be a time he might reach out again. And then in June, he's going to come in with a bit of clarity of like what the vision looks like in terms of the future. But again, like I mentioned, it's still a very strong fire energy, right? So it's like a bit of the aggressiveness, wanting things his way. So if that's the case and that's not something you want to accept, then you have to use this moment as an opportunity to speak your truth. Don't feel like you have to bend over backwards for him. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. Both of you not speaking your truth again in July. So this is something to take note of. Again, minor arcana, meaning to say it might not be 100% gonna be set in stone. So this is really dependent on how you guys navigate every single day. What are the decisions you'll actively make? This could change. Okay, so the important part here in July is you have to speak your truth. You have to be honest with how you feel. Don't go around like trying to be careful about his feelings and all. Why is he not speaking his truth? I think in order to keep you around, right, he might not be very honest with you. So it's very important for you to ask the difficult questions. If you have doubts and whatever, you need to clarify with him. Otherwise, he might take the easy way out to avoid telling you how you feel. You have to stand up for what you want. For example, if you want commitment, you want to have children, for example. Something about projects and children and responsibilities, right? If you want more grounding energy from him, commitment from him, you have to tell him that. Things that you're worried about, okay? So okay, we have 4 minutes left. I will do a quick one on the second question that you have, which is how will your future be with him? How would it be like if you guys end up back together? How would it be like if you end up back together? A lot of past energy would still resurface, meaning to say maybe past arguments, past issues would still be present, which is why I think earlier on when we did a timeline reading of the 6 months, 6 months might not be enough time for your person to change his ways, right? So when it comes to such connections, when they reinitiate some form of conversations with you, you're encouraged to be very clear with what you expect. Otherwise, again, this person's going to come in with the same energy. He will try to regain, the future would be, he will still try to regain that power and control over your emotions and try to restrict you from doing things you want, right? So again, the Empress is in reverse. He might not value you for the person you are. He will try to overtake with like determining the decisions and telling you, no, this is what we should do instead, right? Like you are not so important. What you want is not so important because whatever, right? It is like invalidation of your feelings. And when it comes to commitment, yes, there will be a certain structure and commitment that you guys will abide by in terms of the future. There will be this traditional aspect to it. For example, we need to get married, we need to do this. But the only thing I'm seeing here as a blocker is that even though you guys are following through the steps, my question for you is that will you be truly happy? Because I'm seeing like you're a bit defensive also in this energy. Like you feel like there are moments that you still have to be very careful with him. your guides are asking you to release any abandonment issues and wounds that you might still carry, and that is something that could make you feel like you want to give in to him all the time. So work through your abandonment issues, like a relationship with your past caretakers and parents and all that, right? Heal your wounds first before you reconsider going back to this person. I'm not saying it's impossible. He has work to do and he has to be put in his place, because I feel like you give in to him a lot, and you're a lot more sentimental in this relationship with him lah. So you tend to bend over backwards to make sure that he's okay, things like that, right? It's not that he doesn't have love for you. He does care for you, and he does see you as someone that he wants to have in his life, but he doesn't treat you as such. Okay, so you need to make sure that he treats you fairly first, and that can be done if you heal your wounds in terms of, I don't need validation from him, I can be happy alone. So then you will channel more of that take it or leave it energy with him, and you won't feel like you have to hold him back, things like that. And when that happens, he will start to realize, maybe he'll be unhappy at the start, but he'll start to realize, you know what, I need to reflect on my actions over time. You might even have to reject him multiple times. You need to scold him multiple times when he comes back to you and talk to you, right, after May, June period. And then you need to tell him, no, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I need you to be A, B, C, D if you want to be back together. Okay, you need to stand firm on your decisions and how you want to prioritize yourself, okay?